All right, Illini fans, better late than never. So they lose to Michigan at home, and Michigan is clearly the better team, no question about it. A lot of people blaming Brad Underwood, saying he needs to be fired. He can't win the big one. He's 1-8 in big games at home for the Illini. And of course, we know what happens in the tournament. Question: do you want Brad Underwood fired? If so, why? Do I want him fired? Not at this moment. I don't blame him for all these losses. Is it his fault that the Illini lost? I don't think so. When you have Tommy and Big Z combining for 9 points and 4 rebounds, that's not good enough. That's a joke. They got outplayed big time. Andre, 0 points, only 12 minutes. And a little word of advice for him: you're not athletic at all. Pump fake. Pump fake. Pump fake. Use it. Jake didn't do too much. Ben didn't do too much offensively. Keaton had 23, but he took 17 shots. Boswell with 15. David had 12 and 10. So, if it wasn't for David, we would have been destroyed on the boards. Obviously, the Michigan bigs just absolutely outplayed our bigs, and it's just not even a contest. And we look at the bench, we get 7 points off the bench, and Michigan got a lot more off their bench, big time. And of course, Illinois, 9 out of 29 from 3, 9 out of 12 from the free throw line. So it's one of those situations where, you want to shoot a lot of threes, but you don't want to attack the rim, don't want to go inside and draw fouls, and, and that makes a difference. 9 assists, 10 turnovers, that's a joke. So obviously, if Morez Johnson Jr., who is a sellout, make no mistake about it, if that sellout would have stayed with Illinois, we would be even a better team than we are right now. That's a fact, not an opinion. But the sellout went to Michigan, and they're better than Illinois. We know this. The only way Illinois could beat Michigan is if Jake was hot from 3, if Ben was hot from 3, and if Big Tommy and Big Z actually would contribute something offensively, and if Andre would contribute something offensively. But the truth is, Michigan, their bigs are just stronger, faster. They have more passion, more desire, and frankly, more ability. And it showed. So it is what it is. We know that Michigan is better than Illinois in basketball this year. We know this. We've seen it. This wasn't a Brad Underwood problem. This was a player problem. So, with the loss to UCLA, which was, what a game that was. You come out on fire, build a huge lead, and then defensively, you are just completely worthless, and you lose that game. Now, we do know that Illinois' defense is worthless. They cannot play defense. We know this. If we've learned anything from this season, we know their defense is horrendous. I mean, it is horribly bad. So, I did have national championship hopes. I did have belief. But I'm not a fool. I do see with my eyes, and what I've seen lately, it tells me this team has no chance at winning a national championship. Their defense is just too horribly bad. No defense this bad could win a national championship. So it's not going to happen. And the idea that, Ben and Jake and Andre and, Big Tommy and Big Z, that they're all going to contribute at a high level for how many games would they have to play to win a national championship? That's just not realistic. It's not going to happen. What a shame. So, really, we go back to it again. Should Brad Underwood be fired? 1-8 in big games at home for Illinois. We know what he's done as a head coach in the tournament. So, should he be fired? Well, on one hand, what has he won? What has he won? No championships. No national championships. No Final Fours. So, he's done nothing. I don't care about regular season wins. That's meaningless. You don't get a trophy for that. You don't get a banner for that. So, he's done nothing, accomplished nothing with this team when you get right down to it. But is it his fault? Let me know. If he were to get fired, who would take his place? Who are we getting? This team, I just don't know. All I know for sure is next year's roster is going to be dramatically different. I don't think there's a player on this team that will be here next year, and I'm not joking. I really don't think there's one player on this team that will be back next year. That's insane. The turnover is going to be insane. But before we get there, we got to finish this season. So I'm not expecting much, honestly. Like I said, their defense is horrible, and they're just not the best team out there. So we'll see what they can do. Maybe they can win 1-2 games in the tournament. Maybe. We'll see. But they're not winning a national championship. We know this to be true. They're not winning the Big Ten tournament. We know this to be true. They're good enough to make the tournament. They might be good enough to win a couple games in the tournament. Depends who the second round matchup is. Maybe they'll get UConn or somebody. Who knows? We'll see. But, Illinois, such a disappointment. I had such high hopes. But now I don't. So, yeah. You guys let me know what you think.